Once upon a time, in a faraway kingdom, there lived a king who prided himself on maintaining fairness and justice in his land. But as the year passed, he realized he needed a judge who was not only wise but also fearless when making decisions. He had heard countless stories about Lao Tzu, a philosopher renowned for his deep understanding and logical thinking. The king believed that Lao Tzu was the perfect person to take on the role, and then, determined to have him in his court, the king invited Lao Tzu to the palace. When Lao Tzu arrived, the king greeted him with great respect and said, Lao Tzu, your wisdom is spoken of far and wide. People say you are incredibly intelligent and logical. I want you to become the judge of my kingdom. Please take on this responsibility and help me bring justice to my people. Lao Tzu listened patiently and then responded, Your Majesty, I am honored by your words, but I must decline. Your way of seeing the world and mine are very different. I am afraid I cannot fulfill this role as you expect. Please find someone else who align more with your kingdom's principle. The king was persistent. How can you say that? You are the most qualified person for this position. No one else has the wisdom or the insight that you do. I urge you to reconsider. My kingdom needs someone like you. After much persuasion, Lao Tzu finally agreed and said, If you insist, I will take on the role. But remember, my decision will reflect my belief and values. Not long after Lao Tzu became the judge, a wealthy man arrived at the palace seeking justice. The man's face was full of anger and frustration as he explained his case to the king and Lao Tzu. Your Majesty, my daughter was playing in our garden one day when her gold necklace fell off without her noticing. A bird picked it up and hung it on a branch of a tree. Later, one of the workers in my household saw the necklace. Instead of informing us, he took it for himself. I only discovered the necklace was missing after several days, and upon investigation, I found out this worker had it. I want justice. The accused was brought before the court, a poor man who worked as a laborer in the wealthy man's household. The poor man admitted to taking the necklace, but explained his actions. I did not steal it from the house, he said. It was hanging on the tree and no one seemed to care about it. I thought, why not take it? It could help me and my family. I am poor and struggling. I did not mean to harm anyone. The courtroom was silent as everyone awaited the philosopher's judgment. After a long pause, Lao Tzu spoke. Here is my decision. The wealthy man will receive 50 lashes and the poor man will be given 10% of the wealthy man's property. The court erupted in shock. The wealthy man's face turned red with anger. What kind of justice is this? He shouted. Why should I be punished? And why should I give a portion of my property to this thief? I came here seeking justice, and instead I am being treated unfairly. Turning to the king, the wealthy man pleaded, Your Majesty, this is unacceptable. You must intervene. This judgment makes no sense. Even the king looked puzzled. He turned to Lao Tzu and said, I respect your wisdom, but I fail to understand the reasoning behind your decision. Could you please explain? Lao Tzu nodded and calmly explained, Your Majesty, my judgment is based on deeper principles. First, let us consider the wealthy man. He has so much wealth that he did not even notice the loss of a gold necklace for several days. This shows that his possessions hold little value to him, as he has more than he needs. Such carelessness deserves punishment. Now, let us consider the poor man. He acted out of desperation, not greed. The necklace was not stolen from the house. It was hanging on a tree, seemingly abandoned. While his action was not entirely right, it was understandable given his circumstances. By giving him 10% of the wealthy man's property, we can help lift him out of poverty and reduce the inequality that led to the situation in the first place. The courtroom fell silent as everyone absorbed Laozu's reasoning. While some nodded in agreement, others, including the wealthy man, were furious. After a moment, the king spoke. Laozu, your perspective is indeed thought-provoking. However, it does not align with the laws and tradition of this kingdom. Your judgment may be wise, but it is not practical for our society. I believe it would be best for you to step down as judge. Laozu smiled gently and replied, Your Majesty, I told you from the beginning that I am not suitable for this role. Truth often does not fit neatly within the systems created by society. I see things as they are, not as people want them to be. I have done what I believe is right, but now I shall take my leave. And with that, Laozu left the palace and resumed his journey, seeking wisdom and spreading his teachings. This story teaches an important lesson about truth and integrity. In our life, we often face situations where doing what is right may not align with societal norms or expectations. But staying true to our values is essential. Truth brings clarity and peace, while lies and falsehood create complexity and chaos. Choose the path of honesty and fairness, even when it is difficult. In the end, it is the truth that sets us free. Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed this video, hit like button. And for more such stories, subscribe to our channel. Thank you and stay positive.